Network Entertainment.
And welcome to my podcast, the RJ Ledesma Podcast. In my podcast, I like to speak to successful business leaders, business owners, entrepreneurs, and visionaries to learn more about how they think about doing business, what are their success secrets, and can we replicate them in our own businesses as well. Right now, I'm here at the sidelines of the National Convention of Filipino Homes, the largest real estate sales company here in the Philippines. And I have the pleasure and privilege to speaking not only to one of their major sponsors, but really a great up-and-coming developer here across the country. And also my very good friend over here, you've got Boss Reynold Verano of Investville Realty and Development Corporation. Boss Reynold, thank you so much for joining us over here.
Thank you, Boss RJ, for inviting me and having me here. I'm happy and excited.
It's really such a great pleasure. And for people who might not be quite aware of where the projects of Investville here are right now, please tell us where we can find Investville projects.
We have projects in Palawan. That's where we started developing Rolands. But we also started partnering with other developers, especially yung foreclosed or developers na hindi na gumalaw yung subdivision. So we have that in Laguna, Rizal, Bacolod, and Lipa right now.
Amazing at the progress that you've done. And the story that I want to share over here, which is going to be very nice, is that national conventions like this are very close to your, particularly because this is where you started off. You started off as a pusang broker ka talaga.
Yes.
And who's made the transition into development.
Yeah.
And me and Reynold have a very interesting story to tell of actually how we got to meet. We got to meet buying banana bread in Baguio Country Club, and we were just in line, and we one thing led to another. We had a common friend, and we ended up chatting the whole evening, drinking and chatting the whole evening about real estate. And this is where we are here right now with Boss Reynold. So, Boss, I know we talked about we're going to talk about your project Investville, which is your real estate development company. But
Yeah.
there's a really interesting background as to how you want to go there. I'm sure so many people will learn from your own story as to how it got there. So let's start off with from your secret origins. You didn't start off as a real estate developer. So what was your first business before getting into this?
Well, I started as an agent in 2005. I got licensed in 2006. So ano pa yon? DTI. So hindi pa siya PRC.
Meaning that you could just become a broker through the Department of Trade.
Department of Trade and Industry.
Okay.
So sila pa yung nagbibigay ng exam. So that time I was doing brokerage. So maganda yung business model na yon that time. Kasi only few people are doing brokerage online.
Online.
We used to sell beachfronts and islands with my boss who invited me to do real estate. We were together in UPROTC. So nung nasa Diliman ako nag-aaral, sabi niya, sama ka sa akin, mag-real estate tayo. Which fortunately I was happy because ang dami pera. So parang dami pera dito. So but the success don't last that long. Syempre, dahil maganda yung kita, madaming gumawa. So na medyo bumagal na yung brokerage namin doing nung mga high-end tawag doon. High-end kasi beachfronts and islands eh.
And you were selling more of lot-only properties at the time? Or or house and lot
Wala pa.
properties?
Beachfront talaga. As in, Roland. Beachfront tsaka islands. Then, nung humina yon, I joined project selling. So that's where I started knowing developers. So I sell for Century Properties, FINMA, and eventually I joined 8990. So
And project selling means you're selling directly for the developer.
for the developers.
They have a project which they make you sell.
Yeah, so as a broker, credit ka. So as typical broker, I started accredited with a lot of developers. So I used to sell parang one buyer, I bring them to 5-10 projects. Unfortunately, I cannot close. So it comes to me na, kailangan pala siguro piliin ko sino yung magandang developer na mas madali ibenta. So, from there, I check sino yung mga developer na pwede kang i-offer. So, that's where I started more focused. Instead of sell all, I focus on 1 or 2 developers na alam kong mamamaster ko. Kasi una, maganda yung product, maganda yung kausap. I mean, maayos yung kausap, madali kausap. Tsaka maganda yung commission schemes, commission releases, and all. So, that's where I started. Then, nabuo yung mga teams, nag-recruit ng mga tao, may mga sumama sa akin. Tapos yung former nag-invite sa akin sa real estate, bumalik uli ng real estate. So that's where I met actually Boss Jeff and other
Filipino
friends
homes,
na,
from Filipino homes as well. Now Filipino home.
na Filipino na siya. Pero before, magkakasama kami when they were doing network marketing, ako nasa real estate. So when they joined real estate, they started using my license kasi wala pa sila mga license nung time na yun. Then eventually, they got their license. So, doon na open yung mind ko na, pwede palang mag-project selling, nakikita ka. Then, it eventually came na,
Because before, project selling wasn't the big it was more like these beachfront properties, larger commission because these are larger properties.
yes,
And project selling was just maybe very
maliit.
maliit yung
Oo,
kita, parang
yes.
ganyan.
Well, una nga, doon ako sa mga high-end na project selling like Century Property. So, mahal pa rin, pero malaki yung commission. But those kinds of deal don't do monthly, weekly, or sometimes quarterly, wala nga eh. But medyo pag may quarterly, may deal ka, okay ka. Pero pag wala, sorry ka. Kasi 'di ba, sales, what we do is commission-based. So, I started doing yung, doon ako sa affordable kasi sigurado ako may benta ako linggo-linggo or buwan-buwan.
And that's what you realize. So parang that's the learning.
Yes, that's the learning.
the
So,
process.
high-end, bumaba ako doon we do Finma Properties. So, nakakabenta kami ng 10 sa isang buwan, yung team, yung grupo. Then, I joined ET990. Kaya ko pala ng 20, kaya pala 50, kaya pala ng 100. Na hanggang sa, na-realize ko na lang, 20 na pala yung sasakyan natin. From wala, naging 20 yung tripping vehicle namin. Because we're looking at the number of units that we sell, na lumaki-lamaki yung organization. Kasi ang hinahabol namin, benta lang kami ng benta namin. Kasi yun yung in-expect sa amin ng developer eh. So that's the difference between now sa ginagawa ko tsaka sa brokerage. Dati kasi puro benta lang iniisip ko. Ngayon syempre ibang animal na naman. So more on marami ka nang dapat iisipin, which is yun nga yung parang shift nung business na mas challenging yung pagiging developer. Akala ko kasi dati madali lang.
I
I
see.
used to sell with other developers. Parang, dali lang ginagawa nila. Kaya ko yan. Kasi nagagawa nila. Imposible naman hindi ko magawa. But it's really a different animal.
Wow.
Challenge is really different.
Well, very, very interesting. So, you really came from the time of being you've earned your stripes as a broker. You've gone through the good times and then the bad times
Yeah.
for the being a developer. I hope being a broker. Can you share some of the lower times that happened to you and what kept you going even those times when you were doing brokerage work and
Well, nung nagsimula kasi, hindi ka naman kagad makakabenta, di ba? Kasi as agent or as broker, kahit may license ka, that doesn't mean na bibili na yung kliyente sa'yo. So, you have to train yourself to really sell properly. So, it took me 5 years to really know how to sell. Then, after learning how to sell, it took me about another 5 years to learn how to train people and manage people. And then, nag-develop na ako. It took me another 5 years to really learn how to really develop properly. Hanggang ngayon, actually, ang dami ko pa rin learning. It's not yet, So, to answer your question, boss, nung nasa brokerage ako, talagang dami naming, anong simula, mahirap. So, gumanda yung sitwasyon. Unlike kay Filipinos, kasi may sistema, madali na. That's why I was happy that Boston is doing all the hard work. Kasi yung mga pinagdaanan ng tulad ko, yung mga naunang broker, hindi na namin nila pagdaanan ng mga bago ngayon. They can just join Philippines.
you just plug into a system,
Yes,
right?
kasi may sistema, madali na. Parang ako, nung nagbebenta ako, kaya ako nag-join sa developer. Kasi yung developer, may produkto na yun na lang ibebenta ko. Hindi na uubos. Unlike yung Roland, isa lang yung lupa ng may-ari. Minsan, pag nagbago isip, hindi na ibebenta.
Mhm.
Minsan, tatasan presyo. Pero sa project selling, kung ano yung bahay, mamaya, 1,000 yung bahay nun. So, nabenta yung 10, 100, 500. May 500 pa. Marami pang available. So, hindi basta nauubos. So, wala kang problema dun sa inventory. So, to continue dun sa discussion natin na yung shift talaga is mahirap sa part ko. Then, the shift of the business really happens when we sell out a project ng isang developer. Then, I find out, wala na pala kaming mabibenta, wala nang source of commission. So, parang naubos namin yung inventory. Naiwan ako with a lot of people and a lot of vehicles. Like I mentioned earlier, I have 20. 17 dun, car loans. So, that's the down moment of my career now. We're going nowhere. So, if I don't shift and do something now, baka lalo ako mahirapan in the next 6 months kasi bumababa na yung commission. So, that's why I started doing build and sell.
So build and sell was the first.
Yes.
Not as a developer per se, but let's do build and sell first.
Yes. Well, initially, dahil malaki puhunan sa development eh. So initially, what I started is, I got few people who has money. Then handshake deal lang kami. Walang kasulatan nga yung iba eh. Handshake deal lang because of the trust that I build with, people that I met along the way. So they invest few millions with me. Tas kung ano yung meron ako. Tas we started build and sell dun sa isang subdivision na napabayaan na. Kasi initially, they have a lot of inventories. Hindi ko naman kayang bilhin lahat. So what I started is, bili muna tayo ng 3-5 unit na, 3 hanggang 5 lote. That's where we started. Then I build the model unit. Then wala pang 2 buwan nabenta ko na lahat, pati yung model namin. So I need to buy more. So that's where iniikot-ikot namin. Then nung nag-pandemic, before pandemic, I started getting few people that are close to me because I was referred by, friends of friends because of medyo maganda naman yung relationship tsaka yung trust na build ko dun sa mga investors. I have few investors. Then I got to meet few billionaires na legit talaga na may pera. So that's where we started. No, nagkaroon na ng traction na maganda na yung naging traction kasi tuloy-tuloy na yung project. Nakikita naman na ng mga partners, ng mga buyers. So tuloy-tuloy na nagkaroon ng maraming project. Then I got few developers na tinake over namin yung operation. But unfortunately nung pandemic, few of them nahirapan din. Siyempre affected. So medyo mahirap yung operation after pandemic kasi ang dami namin kailangang itayo, ang dami namin kailangang ayusin. Few of my investors, partner na developer, ayaw na maglabas ng pera. So, we don't have a choice. We have to push on kung ano yung dapat na i-push namin na project. Then I started shifting the business dun sa ano ba yung may control ako at may say ako. Then, ME happened. I joined.
ME was the Ateneo's graduate school.
Yes.
Management.
Graduate School for Business.
It's Masters of Entrepreneurship.
Yes,
that's right.
Entrepreneurship. So, I was searching online because few of my friends from Asialink group of companies, kasi I was one of their partners. Marami kasi silang business. So, yung housing nila, kasama ako doon. They were one of my investors. So, they partnered with me for a housing project. Marami sa mga top lieutenants nila, yung mga executives nila, kahit nga yung mga anak ng mga may-ari, nagmamasteral. So, I was, why these people, mayayaman na yung mga yun, ba't nag-aaral pa? But, I was also taking some online courses to Harvard like emerging entrepreneurship and emerging economy. So may mga ilang online courses na ako kinukuha. But what I wanted is more, gusto ko naman yung may diploma naman na maayos saka ma-improve yung business ko. So I was checking MBA, ME and other degrees. I met few people who graduated the ME program. And then I researched the prospectus, ano yung ino-offer nung MBA, ano yung ino-offer ng ME. Then I check, ano ba yung ginagawa ko? Ang makaka-relate ako dun sa ME. So yun yung tinake ko. So and I remember the interview with Prof. Andy.
Prof. Andy's he's like the head.
He's the guru that time.
Guru,
yeah, he's the head of ME, but siya yung guru namin.
So entrep guru, yeah.
Oo, siya yung guru namin. Sila ni Prof. Chu. So when I interviewed him, pinapasok niya naman ako. Tapos, I was really lucky because Prof. Andy has experience in real estate and Prof. Danny Antonio, which helped me really change the business. Then, they elaborate ano ba yung business ko. Pinakita ko sa kanila ano yung business. So, Prof. Andy told me and Prof. Chu, himayin mo, Reynolds, saan nanggagaling yung kita mo. Kasi I was telling them, I have construction. Kasi we construct for other developers. We sell for other developers. Ayun yung mga developer partner. We also process the loan of developer partners.
You help put the documents.
Yes. Kami yung nagdodokumento ng mga buyer na binenta namin. Kami din nagpa-process sa bangko. Tapos sinacharge ko lang sila ng certain percentage. Kami din nagpa-process ng lahat. Building permit, construction ng bahay. So, lahat yun, sabi ng teacher ko, yung income mo, eto. Pero saan nanggagaling yun? Kasi marami kang business model. Construction nga, documentation, as mentioned earlier, sales. So, pinakamalaki doon, sales. But meron doon, yung development na namin, yun yung build and sell ko nga na sinimula namin. So, nung time na to, nung nag-MA na ako, nabili ko na yung Palawan, tsaka nakuha ko na rin yung license to sell. So, medyo nagte-take off na yung project. That's 400 plus houses. So, from there, nakita ko, those business activities that we do, yung partner ko na ibang developer na, syempre, iba sakit na sa ulo yung nabibigay sa akin, hindi na yung, kasi nga, bumagal due to pandemic. So, parang sabi ko, wala nang direksyon na sinusustain na namin because of our commitment to the buyers. So, parang sabi ko, at the end of the day, hindi naman namin business yon, wala naman akong pangalan doon, pero kami yung nahihirapan. So, I decided, no, we will let go of the business that doesn't help us survive the company. Kumbaga, lalo pa tayong pinapahirapan. So, we focused on, saan ba talaga tayo kumikita? That's where we started letting go of our developer partners and focusing on projects na mismo na Investfield. So, this year, since last year, I started letting go. Tinapos ko na lahat. So, this year, lahat ngayon na ginagawa namin, project na namin. So, una ko ginawa this year, kasi may required KMA, di ba, may 5-year plan. So, this year, I started yung mga tao namin from other developers. Sabi ko, dapat 2025, lahat kayo sa project na natin. Wala na tayo sa other developers or other people's project na irara natin or i-operate pa natin. Kung magbebenta tayo, yes, bebenta pa natin because of the relationship that we have those people over the years. Yun na lang. But the rest, isi-shift na natin, focus tayo sa project natin. So that's what we do. Yun yung shift ngayon. That's what I learned from MA. So focused on, we're more productive, mas madali, mas mag-improve yung organization, mas i-improve yung bottom line. So that's the shift that where you're telling earlier and where we discussed last time.
Yeah, and it's interesting that you it was out of a business opportunity as well. That of course, you were enlightened by doing the program.
Yeah.
You figured out that this was what had to happen for the business to grow. It's a bit hard, di ba? This challenge, but then you saw that this is the way forward. But what did you have to shift? I guess also in terms of mindset when you shifted from the role of being sales and being everybody's middleman to this one. What had to change also for you and how you thought about things?
Actually, boss, a lot. And one of the hardship that I experienced, hanggang ngayon, in-experience ko pa rin, if the shift of the entire organization. With me, medyo madali kasi I've seen it firsthand with the developers. But with the entire organization, kasi we're used to sell, talaga kasing brokerage talaga kami nagsimula. So we manage and market other people's project. So yung training ng mga tao ko, yun. So when I started shifting, ang pinakamahirap na shift sa akin yung financials. Yung construction, hindi gaanong mahirap kasi nakikita ko naman, tsaka bahay pa, ulit-ulit na naman yung bahay namin. Then I got a few good engineers naman sa team. So hindi ganong mahirap yung shift. Ang pinakamahirap yung finance tsaka documentation. So finance in a way that when I started, even though I partnered with Asia Link already, I talked to bank executives. Sinasabi sa akin, Reynold, sa Asia Link lending naman yung negosyo, hindi naman housing. Ginagawa nyo ngayon housing. So wala pa kayong track record. I could not get financing because of that. So kailangan, maggawa muna ako track record. Kailangan makabenta muna ako marami, makapag-deliver muna ako marami. Which took us also mga 2-3 years to do it. Then, by the time na nakita nila, then medyo nandiyon na yung tiwala, then you improve. Ang una kong in-improve during ME is naglagay ako ng yung functioning board. Kasi dati, puro family lang eh. Ichinojoke ko nga yung mga kakilala ko. Lahat sa kumpanya, tinanggal ko na sa board ng mga kamag-anak. Hindi ko lang matanggal yung misis ko kasi baka wala na akong uwian eh. So, we make it now professional. We make it a functional board. But I get former colleagues and people who trusted me before. Sila yung inuna kong kinausap. Like, you met Miss Aleli. So
you're Chief Operating Officer of...
Yes. So I recruited her. I recruited few people I met along the way. So over my 20 years in the business, so I build, respect and trust to a lot of people also. So I invited few people to join me, grow the business. Kasi at the end of the day, lessons that I learned also from my partners who are already, they made it already, and the billionaires that I work with. It really takes a team to progress as big organization. Yun nga sinasabi nila, you can run fast,
But you can't
to
run.
run longer,
Yeah.
to run further, you need a team. So that's what we're working now. So we assemble the team. We still lack few people. We think we still need growth, lalo na if we expand next year. This year, wala na kami expansion. Tama na muna. Kasi ang in-expand ko lang, to shift our people from other project to our projects. Yun lang yung goal ko this year, and it already happened. So at least bago matapos yung taon, nagawa na namin. So yun yung, hopefully, the organization will mature so that we can take on more bigger challenges by expanding and, winning more projects.
And the thing is, it's an extremely competitive industry in real estate, but you seem to have found a particular niche that Investville can work in. Share with us a bit more how you eventually came to this niche and how you're kind of trying to build your advantage in this niche.
It's my 20th year now in real estate. So I've sold thousands of houses and condos also. Based on those experience, nakita ko naman ano yung hinahanap talaga ng merkado. When I was doing the research for the MA program, my prof asked me, ano proof mo na tama yan? Ano data mo? Kasi I was saying, yun yung sinasabi ng mga buyers. Sinong buyer yun? Ilang buyer yun? So, all the while, wala akong data to support na talagang meron, na yun talagang hinahanap.
Hi, I'm Joelle. I talk for a living and I'm an overthinker. Life keeps going and the questions keep coming. But I hope you find comfort in the fact na hindi ka mag-isa. Ang dami nating overthinker, no? Sa ups and downs, twists and turns ng buhay, paano kung ituloy lang natin ang paghanap ng kasagutan? Ready? Tara! This is Joelle's podcast. Paano kung? Powered by the Pod Network.
So when I took the program, dahil hinahanapan ako ng totoong data. So I searched a lot of, online sources, a lot of kung saan ako pwedeng maghanap ng information. And I found a data. 90+% of Filipinos prefer a house with an excess lot.
With a
Excess lot.
excess lot.
So eto yun. Ito yun yung patunay na tama yung ginagawa ko. So all the while, I don't believe kasi I grew up in the province. I grew up in, malawak yung kalupa. Kahit hindi amin, pero malawak. So ang mindset ko, gusto ko may extra lupa sa harap. Yung customer, yung landowner namin or yung homeowner namin. Tapos may excess din sa gilid tsaka sa likod. So nagsisimula ako, ang alam ko lang, yun yung hinahanap ng maraming customer. Pero wala akong data, hindi namin kinokulit. Kasi pag pupunta sa site, sasamahan namin, yun yung hinahanap. So alam namin yun yung hinahanap. Kahit mag-inquire online, kasi I used to do a lot of online advertisements also from Sulit before hanggang sa dumating na sila Lamudi, di ba? Tsaka si Facebook.
Mhm.
So I used to do a lot of campaigns for those online portals. Talagang maraming hinanap bahay. That's why nag-decide kami na eto yung dapat yung produkto natin. So as Boston is always saying, it's always market driven. Kasi pares kami nasa industry, pares kami exposed kami sa market eh.
Mhm.
Pero nung ginagawa ko to, wala akong definite na data ano yung source ko. Basta sinasabi ko marami sa mga buyer namin yun yung hinahanap. But when I took the ME yun nga, as mentioned earlier, NEDA has the survey and they have evidence na yun na talaga yung hinahanap.
And so you're specializing in sort of like houses with additional space for lots.
That's only one.
Oh.
That's only one. Kasi what I wanted as a broker myself is I want to sell to a buyer that they end up living in that house for the rest of their lives.
Mm.
So when I took the MA program, simple lang yung ambition ko nung time na yun eh. Parang lumaki lang kami as developer. Yung una kong ambisyon is to be a leading single family home developer. But this was challenged by Prof. Andy. Sabi ni Prof. Andy, you can be a leading developer, but you're an asshole developer.
Mhm.
Which is true naman. Kung meron naman talaga sa industry ganun. So, sige. So nag-isip ka ako. Sabi ni Prof, ano ba yung gusto mo? When you launch a project, drawing pa lang binibili ka na. 'Di ba? There are developers na ganun. So that's trust. So that's why, hindi na leading prof, trusted community developer na. So it's a tall task for us to do. But sabi ko nga sa team, we're young, we have the energy, we have a long career ahead of us, and we're ready to fight for it. Kasi that's what we think the buyer deserve. That's why we focus na ganun lang. Single family home. Pero ang sinasabi ko, yes, maliit yung bahay natin. Kasi yung mga buyer natin once in a lifetime na naman bumibili. So hindi siya papalit-palit. One discussion of my partners, they told me, Reynold, parang ang mura naman nung market segment na pinipenetrate natin. Parang yung market baka yan ba talaga yung hinahanap? Kasi parang ang baba. Sabi ko sa kanya, kasi sir, kayo bilyonaryo naman kayo, marami kayong pambiling pera. Yung customer natin, bira lang to bumili ng bahay, once nga lang, twice nga lang. So we make sure the product that we offer, they really live in it, and make sure yung pera nilabas nila, it's really worth it. Kaya nga sabi ko, ang concept natin is we bring high-end to the low-cost market. Kasi kami lang yung bahay. Sa ngayon nakikita ko, kami lang yung bahay. Low-cost yung bahay namin. 3 to 6 million. Pero smart na yung smart lock na yung door, main door. High ceiling kami, well ventilated. May excess lot sa harap, may excess lot sa gilid. And then yung mga socket namin, smart lock na rin. So those features only happen to high-end houses. Sa mga mayayaman lang yun. Na pagpasok mo sa gate nila, well landscape yung harap. Kami hindi ganun ka, bongga yung landscape, pero at least sinisigurado namin naka-landscape kahit papaano. Kasi parang kung ako yung buyer, yes, hindi ako mayaman, pero deserve ko rin kahit papaano.
I see.
Maging ganito yung buhay na kung ano yung may mayaman, kahit may resemblance man lang. Hindi man kasing tulad nun, pero at least parang ganon. On a smaller scale.
And that's what you had in mind as being what keeps you, and that's something you gained over the years of understanding the customer.
Yes.
To make it something that is your competitive advantage.
Yes. Actually, yun nga, nag-shift yung mind. Right now, pag sinasabi namin sa buyer namin na you buy a home from us, before kasi sinasabi namin dream home yung binebenta namin, yung ginagawa namin dream home. But I realize, hindi naman natatapos yung pangarap ng tao pag nakabili ng bahay. Tama, di ba, boss?
That's right.
Pag bumili siya ng bahay, ang reason niya, kaya ako bumili ng bahay, para yan sa pamilya ko, na doon namin bubuuin yung pangarap namin. So, over the years, lalo na nung nag-ME ako, ang realization ko doon, hindi kami nagbebenta ng bahay para lang ma-fulfill yung dream nila, para lang kumita kami. Right now, it's more of a mission na our goal is to deliver homes where people build on their dreams. Doon nila bubuin yung pangarap nila sa pamilya nila. So yun na yung goal namin ngayon. Hindi na yung basta benta-benta lang.
It's not a dream home, but it's where your dreams start at that home.
Yes, it's where you build your dreams.
It's where you build your dream
for your family.
And this is great insight which you can only gain as you are actually doing the project. But really, can I also ask, if you don't mind, for the benefit of people who in real estate and looking at the potential of this industry, that there's a lot of not so savory news out there. Parang there's an oversupply. What should we do real estate?
Yeah.
But you have a different perspective, particularly in this segment of the industry. Help us better understand just what is the potential in this industry for real estate in the one that you are playing in.
Well, dahil market-driven kami, we always look at the market first. Ano ba yung hinahanap nila? Kasi in one of our discussions with my partners, we're discussing the product. So sabi ko sa kanila, we're not Ayala. We're not Camellia. That, whatever we say, people will follow. So what we need to do is to build a product na hinahanap nila. That's why kami, halos sell out yung mga bahay namin. Kasi hindi kami yung gagawa ng bahay na, ito gawin namin, bahala kayong bibili kayo. Hindi. So before namin gagawin yun, tiningnan namin ano ba yung hinahanap nila. And in the Philippines right now, there's really a lot of buyers. kasi ang dami naming inquiry, ang dami naming bibili. So walang slowdown kasi people are keep going outside of the Philippines to earn bigger income. In the Philippines, marami kaming buyer ngayon yung nagwo-work, lalo na yung mga work from home, ang dami namin.
Mhm.
Um, in Palawan, ang dami doon, mga local, 70%. We're actually surprised. We're targeting OFW dapat pero ang daming local bumili.
Wow, wow,
So,
interesting.
Yeah, so actually, I myself was surprised because we're campaigning for a vacation home for Palawan. Hindi yun nangyari, mga local, yung majority ng buyer namin local. So there's really a demand if you do a good product. If you do a good product, na yun yung gusto ng merkado, talagang hindi ka maubusan ng market. So it's maybe more of, shifting a strategy, lalo na ng pandemic, di ba? People are trying to avoid yung mga congested area, lalo yun, earthquake. So, ayaw na nila ng high-rise ngayon kasi takot na yun ng mga tao sa earthquake. So, most of it are shifting on the houses.
Wow. So, but I didn't get to ask earlier on, but tell us for the different projects of Investvilla right now.
We have in Lipa, this is a newly project that we launched. We also have Bacolod, almost more than half na yung nabenta na rin namin. Of course, mentioned Palawan and Rizal. We have Laguna pero wala na, naubos na namin yung inventory. So, those are the areas that we're operating right now. But eventually, we can expand also next year.
So really, the key to you is creating the right market-driven product that sells.
Yes.
And not many of the developers out there have used that formula. Oftentimes, that's what you're.
Yes.
That's what you've been seeing from what you've been doing, and that often causes the oversupply or the demand and supply mismatch.
Yes, definitely. Kasi nobody anticipates pandemic to happen. Diba? Nobody anticipates na mag-shift yung market because of the effect of pandemic. I'm sure you hear from a lot of brokers, especially Boston, na ang dami nilang benta nung pandemic. That's what happens to us. Marami kaming benta. Ang hirap pala nung pandemic, yung construction. Kasi sa dami na nabenta namin, hindi mo lahat matayo dahil ang hirap nung logistics eh.
I see.
Pinababarangay kami dahil gumagawa kami kahit naka-lockdown nung mga time na yun eh. So, hindi mo maiwasan kasi naghahabol ka nga ng construction. Tsaka wala magawa yung mga tao eh.
Wow. Well, what are you seeing right now as what's next now for Investville? You look primed and ready to scale.
Well, definitely. Our goal right now is to stabilize the organization. We keep improving our people, our team. Yun yung goal namin this year. Next year, we are looking to expand in areas that we're operating. So we have acquired new lots in Palawan also for our next project. So ongoing na yung namin ngayon, mga licenses. We're also talking to few developers for strategic partnership and also discussing with a lot of potential landowners for partnership as well or acquisition. So we are shifting more on product that yun talaga yung alam naming mabilis ibenta. So honestly, our inventory is going to bungalow houses. We started with bungalow pero naglagay kami ng mga 2-story. But moving forward, our direction is more on the bungalow houses.
Yeah. And you see that as the biggest potential here in the Philippines in terms of homes that are in demand. I want to ask you also, so what do you think are the because you can't pursue naman all the business opportunities out there. I mean, it's hard because as an entrepreneur, you want to pursue everything. But what are you seeing as opportunities out there, especially from your vision of in real estate, na other players or smaller players, aspiring entrepreneurs can enter into this industry that you necessarily won't play with kasi your hands are already full with what you're doing.
Well, sa real estate naman, sabi nga nila, you can never go wrong. Kasi prices always goes up. But for aspiring developers, una talaga mahirap. Somebody told me that before. Pero ang mind ko kasi, sabi ko, hindi, kasi magaling ka na, mayaman ka na, kaya sasabi mo mahirap. Pero when I put my feet on it, it's really hard. So if lakas lang noob lang yung puhunan, you need really good network din naman talaga to successfully run a business. Kaya maraming developer nalulugi. Kasi hindi sila ready. Ako nung nagsimula ako, hindi rin ako ready. Akala ko lang ready ako, pero hindi pala ako ready. I mean, it's nice to see developer doing it na tingin mo kaya mo. Pero nung ikaw na yung gumagawa, boss, ang hirap. Ibang level, ibang animal. But I'm not discouraging What I'm saying is you have to be ready mentally, but more importantly financially.
Yeah.
Hindi siya ganun kahirap. So what I suggested to, right now I'm talking to a lot of people na gusto mag-develop din. What I suggest is you tie up with an existing player na o kaya kayo ilang kayong maliliit na gusto nyo mag-build and sell. Ipunin nyo pera nyo, buuin nyo, tapos simula kayo. Kasi madadapa kayo. Ayun yung sinasabi ng mga partner ko, kailangan natin rin mag-tuition fee. So talagang nag-tuition fee din kami. Kahit matagal na kami lahat sa industry, yung mga partners ko, ano na ngayon, senior na ngayon. Pero yung experience sa business, hindi lang 30 years. Pero nagkakamali pa rin kami. So, normal yon kasi hindi nyo pa nadaanan O kaya, nagbabago yung landscape ng industry. So, ngayon, nagbago yung landscape ng industry. So, if you want to join development, partner with existing player, small or big, or you join a group of, the same interest. Kasi ang hindi mawala din sa akin sa MA, may mission vision na ako. Pero yung tumatak sa akin sa sabi ni Prof. Andy, values. You only work with people who have the same values as you. So that yung tama sa'yo, tama din sa kanya. Yung mali sa kanya, mali din sa'yo. Kasi parang kayo ng pinaniniwalaan So, that's important. So, if you join a team, dapat the same values. The same, yung goal halos nag-a-align. Kasi talagang, mahirap magkakaproblema. Kasi doon yung matetest yung metal nyo to support each other Kasi pag nagkakaproblema, doon na lumalabas yung leak. So instead na lumaki yung leak, dapat tatakpan natin. Lalo na kung magpa-partner kayo, dapat you support each other na you resolve ano man yun. That's what I've seen from few of my partners right now. That's why kahit hindi ka kumikita sa kanila, but the will to experience you get from those people. Nakita mo naman, di ba, I work with Consul William Uy, di ba? Talagang yung will to experience niya tsaka yung mga partner namin sa AsiaLink talagang yun yung dati hindi ko rin maintindihan kailan mong sumama dun sa mga malalim na experience kasi by just talking to them you get a lot of insight.
That's right.
Ako ilang beses ko lang si Boston na met, I get a lot of insights.
I know.
Earlier I was listening to you, I get a lot of insight. So it's always meeting the right people that you can get information to improve your business. Kasi that's what it is. Ang dami kasing learning Every day may bago Yun din yung isang sinabi ni Prof. Andy na I'm not afraid to teach what I know. Kasi next month, next week, iba na naman Kailangan ko mag-upgrade Kasi kung hindi ako mag-upgrade, yung ginawa ko gagawin ng iba. That's why ako, I don't mind people joining me kasi at the end of the day, I have to innovate my product. Right now, we are on our several model units na So, yung sell-out ko ng model unit sa Palawan, pinalitan ko ng bago na in-improve namin based on ano ba yung mga reklamo sa model na yan. Pero sold out yun ng model na yun, naubos yung unit na ganun. Even so, in-improve pa rin namin. So, that's one strategy na talagang you have to evolve.
And it also takes a lot of humility, always constant humility to learn from people who are more experienced than you.
Yun yung actually pinaka-importante. Kasi you will find success and failure. But the way you sustain your growth and, yung failure, the way you recover is by being humble down to people who supported you or not supported you. Pag wala kang ego sa sarili, kahit sa mga tao mo, minsan, boss, hindi naman sa kasi syempre madami-dami na rin yung tao sa team. Minsan galit na galit ako sa mga tao. Pero I am the first person to call them na kahit gusto kong murahin, galit na galit ako, hindi kong gagawin. Minsan, tao tayo, minsan nagagawa pa rin natin. But still, you need to talk to them, help them out, support them. Iga-guide mo pa rin So yun yung hindi nakikita ng iba, nakala nila kung ikaw yung leader, ikaw yung boss, lahat ikaw nasusunod. Hindi Pag nagkamali yung tao, may problema yung mga tao mo, kahit ayaw mong asikasuhin kasi naiinis ka sa kanila, you don't have a choice.
Mhm.
Kasi pag hindi mo inayos yun, ang malulugi yung kumpanya mo.
That's right.
'Di ba? Pag nalugi yung kumpanya mo, kawawa naman sila lahat. Hindi lang siya actually ilang pamilya ba yung pinapakain mo, 'di ba? Like sa isang bahay, ilang tao ba yung nakikinabang sa isang bahay na ginagawa namin, 'di ba? From agents, from a construction worker, from supplier, from 'di ba, the homeowner itself, the buyer itself. So, ang daming ecosystem dun. So, talagang kung hindi ka humble, kung maego kang tao, you're not for the business. Kasi you get a lot of lessons, madadapa at madadapa ka. So how you recover is how you humble down yourself, admit the mistakes, or help out those people who commits mistakes and make them better. Ang hirap nun sa simula. Talagang minsan sasabihin mo, bahala ka sa buhay nyo. Pero after a few minutes, hindi mo pwedeng sabihin, babalikan mo pa rin. Kasi you're the leader eh. Nobody will fix it except you and them.
That's right.
So in our organization, there are a lot of challenges. Hindi naman nauubos yun sa dahil. Sabi ko nga, hindi naman kami sanay mag-develop kasi sanay kami yung nagbebenta lang. So the shift is really hard. Doon ako hirap na hirap. Sabi, ang diskusyon namin lagi nung family ko, lalo na wife ko, that the problem occurs because you're too slow to respond and adjust. That's what I'm saying. Hindi, sabi ng misis ko, because you're too fast. You run the business fast that we could not catch up. So, which is which? So, yun yung, as leader, yun yung kailangang bantayan ko at I have to, carry the organization with me. Kasi hindi pwedeng you let them go. Hindi rin pwedeng i-let go nila ako. So, we have to support each other. So, talagang kailangan yun. As a leader, you have to be humble all the time.
Got that. That's what a great lesson to learn from this discussion. And then, from all the years you've been doing, you learned a lot from being a broker, the ups and downs, to becoming the all-around in real estate, finally finding your niche as a developer with a specific product you have in mind. It's been quite a journey. Are there any management tips or advice that you want to give aspiring managers, entrepreneurs, real estate developers?
Well, the number one challenge is always adjustment. Whatever the outcome, you succeed or you fail, it's how you react and adjust. Kaya nga sasabi ko na being humble kasi that will open up your mind to realize, ano ba yung lesson doon? Una, saan ako nagkamali or saan nagkamali yung tao? Ano yung learning doon na kailangan kong gawin or i-apply para makarecover kami or, yung success masupport lalo. Kasi nga, lahat naman ng leader usually sinasabi, it's not that I compete with, other brokers or other developers. I compete with myself.
Mhm.
Diba? Kaya sabi ko nga, yung bahay namin, hindi ang kaparehas ng bahay ng ibang developer. Kasi sabi ko, kung parehas tayo ng ibang developer, definitely, buyer will go to them. Kasi they have the name. Sino ba yan si Renol Verano? Sino ba yan si Invesfield?
Mm.
Ano bang pangalan yan?
Mhm.
Diba? Hindi nga kilala yan eh. Ahente yan dati. Ano naman pera yan? Ano naman? Diba? Wala yan. So that's why sabi ko, we have to differentiate our product that it will stand out on the market because una, that's what they need. But talagang yun yung bebenta tayo kasi yun yung wala sila. Na yun yung tayo, yung identity natin. So, as leader, as entrepreneur, yun yung una mong iisipin kasi talagang may success kang makuha. Pero marami rin failure. So, it's, di ba, lahat naman sinasabi, it's not how you fail, but how you stand after you failed. So, talagang normal na mararanasan mo yon. Yun yung isang happy ako did with other partners ko. Like, yung mga mayayaman na talaga, the billionaires one. They not beat you because you make mistakes. That's what I've been doing also for many years. Hindi ako nagagalit dahil nagkamali ka. Magagalit ako dahil nagkamali ka. Alam mong mali, wala kang ginawa. So, as leaders, as, entrepreneurs, as managers, you learn from your mistakes, but what you do after that mistakes, that's more important.
Got that.
Kasi talagang mararanasan mo yan.
Yeah. And finally, Reynold, if they want to work with you in Westfield, how do people work with you? If they've got, I don't know, who are you looking for in terms of partners?
Well, ako personally right now, we're looking for more land to develop. Ang goal nga namin ngayon, like my few developers that I know, is partner with landowners. Ayun yung shift namin kasi ang laki ng punan lagi sa lupa eh. So we're looking for people who will help us sell, of course, our houses kasi may mga inventories pa naman kami. And then people who partnered with us with the same vision that, we're building homes where people build on their dreams. So that's our aspiration now. So doon na kami nakafocus na hindi lang yun basta bahay. Ang goal naman namin talaga is pag bumili ka sa amin ng bahay, dyan mo buuin yung pangarap mo.
I love that. And with that, thanks so much for guesting over here on the RJ Ladez
Thank you
podcast.
so much.
So inspired by your discussion, Boss Joel. How to be you po. Hope to be a developer just like you one of these days.
Well, kung nagawa ko, imposibleng hindi magawa ng iba. Tsaka kung nagawa nung iba, imposibleng hindi natin magawa.
That's right. Thanks so much. Thanks for joining us here on the RJ Ladez podcast.
The opinions of podcast creators, hosts, and guests are not necessarily reflective of the official stance of the Pod Network Entertainment, its hosts, or other network programs. The content created by the people behind the podcast is personal and not meant to harm any religion, ethnicity, group, organization, company, or individual.